still going. And just hope everybody had a great summer. Me and my family, we had an awesome summer. Had a great time going down to my great state of Florida, spending some time with my family down there, and spending some time with my son and nephews and daughter. So the summer couldn't have went any better for the Spiller household, but also excited to get back to the grind that's going to take to have a successful season. It's been great, and hopefully you guys had a great summer too as well. Hopefully you was able to get away and spend time with some of your families, because that's the thing that I have learned, over these last 6 years. I can say is that, man, you can't replace family time, and so I was very conscious and very intentional about how I was going to spend my time this summer. So I just encourage y'all, man, just to do the same thing. I mean, I know we all have a huge responsibility to do as far as job-wise, but never substitute that for family time, because those are the memories that you can't get back. And so you want to try to make as many as you possibly can. But glad to see some of y'all faces. It's always great this day is always awesome because you get to talk about football and about your position group and all that stuff. So it's always awesome to be here amongst y'all. So thank y'all for what y'all do.
Coach, from the spring game to now, throughout that summer that you talked about, what was the one thing you felt like with your position group that you really wanted to improve on over the summer?
Over the summer, I mean, I think as a whole, I think it was just continuity and brotherhood. I mean, obviously, individually, I gave each and one of those guys what they needed to improve on. But as a group, I really wanted this group to really focus in on that brotherhood cohesion, because we're going to need everybody. I mean, I know that's probably just some words that people say, but I truly believe that, especially at the running back position, because you just never know when it's going to be your time. And the biggest thing that you can't have is you can't have jealousy. That's been my number one thing since Coach Sweeney named me the running back coach. We cannot have jealousy, because I think once jealousy creeps in your room, man, it just derails everything else. And so that's always a topic of discussion. But I think the biggest thing for me was just having those guys really spend time with each other and get to know them, because you got to get to know someone to really understand what's their makeup. And so that brotherhood and then just that cohesion, that was a big topic for us.
How have the guys been able to keep all that together with everything that's went on the last couple of months? I'm not going to get into a whole lot of it because it is what it is, but how have you been able to keep the running back together dealing with adversity like that?
Yeah, I mean, you just talk through those things. You can't shy away from it. You can't act like it's not out there. And so you talk through it and you let them get off the chest, and then you just move on. And the biggest thing that I always tell people, especially in my room, is that, man, we got to have a horse mindset. And I love watching horse racing. If you ever watch them, they always have blinders on. And there's a reason that they have the blinders on, so they can't see what's going on the left or the right. They just stay focused straight ahead. And so, we can't control those outside stuff. We got to control the internal stuff, and control what you can control, and then just let everything else. I mean, it just happens. And so those guys, they understand that. They're appreciative of that, and they came every day the spring and worked hard, and then they done had a great summer. I haven't had any bad reports of those guys not handling their business. So all those guys know what it's going to take to be successful individually, and then they know what it's going to take to be successful as a group. And so we just set goals for the summer.
All right, so we gotta ask. This is off the record now for a while.
Off the record, I got like 100 cameras in front of me.
You talk about non-football related. All right, let's go that route. You talk about so CJ Spiller retires. Talk about blinders, horse racing stuff. Or we got a future Kentucky Derby guy in our future right here.
For me? Yeah, I think we do. Where I'm from, I'm really in horse country land. Ocala, Florida is like 30 minutes from my hometown. If any of y'all familiar with Ocala, I mean, that's really that's horse country. And so when I'm on 75, that's all I see. And so that's one of my bucket lists. I've never been to the Kentucky Derby, but that's a bucket list of mine. And so one of these days, I'm gonna make my way over there to watch it because I just love it, man. I think it's thrilling, it's exciting. I mean, every year I watch it. If I don't get a chance to go next year, I'm gonna have a theme party at my home, and so I mean, I just love it, man. You just see those beautiful thoroughbreds just get out there and just go, and it's always that one horse that nobody thought would win. Everybody always, in every sport that you always gonna have favorites, but it's gonna always be that one that nobody really understands, and it's gonna shock everybody. But the people that train that horse and that been with that horse every single day, they have belief, and that's all that horse needs is just that one person to believe. And that's the same thing in my world, is that we got a bunch of guys in our room, and all those guys bring something totally different, but they just need somebody to believe in them. Because I mean, this is different. This is college football. It's not high school. It's not Pop Warner. It's not middle school. So they just need someone to believe in them. And that's what I try to really be intentional about, just making sure that I instill belief in those guys. And I do different little things to remind them. Because sometimes people get lost in who they are, and so we have to do a good job of understanding, who you are as a person.
Is there one guy in that running back room right now that is starting to break away just a little bit, separate themselves?
I mean, they all have done a great job, honestly. I think I wouldn't say they're just out there, running like Secretariat right now. I think it's a good horse race right now, and the good thing is that we're finna get ready to start fall camp, so they get ready to walk back up to the stalls, and we're finna get ready to shoot that gun, and we'll see what happens. And so I'm excited about them. Hopefully they, the stuff that I gave them going into the summer, hopefully they've done a great job of working on that stuff and getting better as a player, and we'll see how they run their race.
What's something about these guys, this group of players in this season that kind of separates it, makes a difference out of past seasons before?
Say it again.
What's something with this group of guys, this group of players that you get to coach, and this upcoming season that's different from past seasons before?
Well, I mean, I was just talking to Coach Zal about that, and I was really talking to a couple of my closest friends. I was like, honestly, this year reminds me so much of 21, right? Because I got here in 20, and it was Travis Etienne for all those years. Then when I took over in 21, it was like, okay, who was going to be that guy? And, the only experienced guy you really had coming back, honestly, was Lane J. Dixon, right? And then after that, you have Shipley for 3 years, and then Moffitt. And so now, this year is kind of very similar to that 21, where it's like, okay, who's going to be that guy? You don't have the Shipleys or the Moffitt, but man, I'm excited about all those guys in the room. They all bring something totally different to the table, and that's appealing to me. And they all hard workers, they all competitors, and they all got to have some toughness. And I think they showed that this spring. But then at the end of the day, man, it just comes down to just brotherhood. You got to have a brotherhood. You can't have what I call pillow talk. You can't have any of that stuff going on. And so I think if those guys really gel together and really come together and really have a great appreciation for each and every guy's role, I think we'll have a very successful season. But anytime you have the bickering and the jealousy of, oh, this guy got this many touches, this guy got this many yards, then we're going to have a tough mountain to climb, but we'll get through it.
Coach, you mentioned jealousy a few times. Is that something you learned as a player?
Yeah, that's something that I learned as a player. I mean, especially going from where I'm from to coming to college and then going to the NFL, like that's the stuff that I dealt with. And so having those experiences, I'm able to share that knowledge with the guys in the room. And then I was able to, help these guys. And so, but that was the number one thing when I took over, though, honestly, is like, you can't have jealousy, really. I mean, especially in the running back room. I can't speak for everybody else's room, but for the running back room, you cannot have jealousy in there because then it will really derail everything that you're trying to build. And so I always tell those guys, if there's any jealousy, man, let's talk this thing out. Like, and we're going to talk it out as a group. We truly say that we're a brotherhood. Let's be a brotherhood, right? And so those guys, they understand that, so I'm not, saying something that they don't understand. They know that's always a big topic of discussion when it comes to my room.
I missed the first few questions, so my bad if you could end up repeating something, but with you and Ben having so much influence in this uniform, transitioning to coaching a position group,
Yep.
Is there any wisdom you've shared with him or can at this point?
Yeah, that's what you should do. I mean, you share all your wisdom and the knowledge that you have as a player that you went through as a player to try to help these guys. And so I'm always trying to share those guys my wisdom and the knowledge and some of the experiences that I went through as a player to try to help them. And hopefully, everything I say probably ain't gonna stick with it, but hopefully it's one thing that'll stick and help them become a better player. And so I think each and every day I try to do that with my guys.
CJ, have you had a moment to reflect on last year, getting inducted in the Ring of Honor and seeing your name up there in the stadium? That moment, have you taken that in yet, or how's that sitting?
I think maybe one day I did. Honestly, I mean, it was a great moment. I had a bunch of family and friends in town for it. It's something that it was just one of those goals that I wrote down when I was 6 years old. Honestly, and so to just really see one of those goals come to fruition in life. I mean, it was special, and so that's why I'm a huge believer into goals, and not just goals, but writing down your goals. Because it's one thing to have goals, but it's another thing to write it down. So that way you can see it on a day in and day out basis, right? And so that's what I try to tell my guys. Okay, what's your goals? And then they'll tell me. I'm like, okay, did you write it down? Because I need you to look at it every day. And then you have to ask yourself at the end of the day, did I become one step closer to achieving that goal? And so that was one of my goals. Not saying that get my name on the stadium. It was just one of my goals was to be one of the best ever to play whatever college I went to at the time. To be one of the best players ever. That was a goal that I wrote down at 6 years old. Another one was to really be the best high school player that came through my hometown at Union County. That was one of my goals. And so to see all those things come to fruition is hot, because a lot of people don't get opportunity to live and see those things happen. So for me to be able to do that and share with family and friends is awesome.
CJ, a few years ago, piggyback off of that, a few years ago, he was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. I picked up the phone and I called Lake Buffalo High School.
You did?
And the secretary that I talked to remembered you very well, and I actually got to talk to your old high school coach. And Trevor actually asked you a question in the interview, and you kind of got emotional about it. So I don't want to get you emotional and everything, but you were obviously close to your grandmother and talking about going to Hardee's every morning, having breakfast before school, and the secretary of school reminisced about that as well as your coach. What do you think your grandmother would say to you this day and time if she was here?
Specifically for this year?
Just for your accomplishments.
Accomplishment? I mean, she'll just honestly, she'll just tell me just remind me who I am. Just be who I am. Don't try to be nobody else. Remain humble. That was really her big emphasis on me growing up. And then just treat people the way that you want to be treated. And so, each and every day, I try to do that. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but each and every day I just try to treat people the way that I like to be treated. I try to respect people. I have a great appreciation for what everybody does. And then I just try to remain humble. And sometimes it's easier said than done, but that's what it is, because that these gifts that I was given, I was given from my Lord and Savior. And I just try to do a great job of just making sure that I'm reflective of what He was able to give me.
Talk a lot about brotherhood. Talk a lot about brotherhood.
Yes, sir.
Without Will Shipley being gone, Phil Moffitt being gone, do you expect the running back room to be a lot more versatile for who you have in at any given play at running back position, or is it focused purely on that brotherhood as a group in total, or is it kind of focused on trying to find a new number one back?
Well, I mean, you got good thing is we got great healthy competition. Like you say, the last really 4 years, you always knew you had Will Shipley, you had Phil Moffitt. This year, the big question is, who's gonna fill those guys? And both of those guys are awesome, and I'm not looking for this group to try to fill those guys' shoes, because you have to be your own player, And so the good thing is that these guys, they love competition, and you got to embrace that. And I think, like I said earlier, I think it just goes back to you have to have a great appreciation for each guy's role, and I think that's probably one of the hardest things for young people to see, especially in today's world. Is you got to understand your role, and you just have to attack that, right? And so, but I think to his question, earlier, that's an experience that I was able to go through that I'm able to share with them, right? And so hopefully that's able to help. But I mean, I'm looking for. I love all those guys. I think anytime you get on that field, you represent, your family, you represent, this university, you represent this program, and then most importantly, you represent that RB room. And so you have to take great pride in that. So I'm not over there, shaking in my boots when if I was to put Jarvis Green out there, for instance. Like, man, you sit in the same meetings as a Keith Adams and Adam Randall, and so I'm expecting you to be prepared, I guess you can say. So I have all the confidence in those guys, and they just have to do their part now. They don't just come to them and it's gonna come easy. But I have all the confidence in them.
You've gotten pretty good at teaching running backs how to play running back. So how do you teach a wide receiver how to play running back?
How do I teach a wide receiver how to play running back? As Adam Randall? The biggest thing is, going from receiver to running back is just more patience, right? Because when you're at receiver, he's watching the ball and he's just taking off, and at the running back position, you have to be patient because you want to let your offensive line do what they was recruited to do, block the big guys. And so that was probably the big emphasis for me and him this spring, is just teaching that patience, because that something was new for him, coming from the outside, coming back into that box now. And so because when the ball snap, he just want to go, but you can't do that. And so but he got better and better as the spring went on with that. And so really the patience, and then sinking his hips. That's the biggest thing. Obviously he does that. He has that background from playing receiver and having to get in and out of breaks and stuff like that. And then after that, man, it's just all about your instincts and letting that stuff take over, and just building confidence, having your eyes in the right spot. And so, but it's been a great spring, and man, he was a great learner. He wanted to learn. He wanted to learn the position, and so that's always a plus.
CJ, you mentioned writing down your goals. Do you have coaching goals written down? What are they?
Yeah, I have some coaching goals written down, and that's be the best version of me. That's really that's really at the top of that list. Be the best version of me, because I think it's so easy, I think, in this profession to get caught up into seeing what other guys doing and be like, oh man, I want to do that, and then you kind of lose yourself a little bit, right? And so to me, I just always just remind myself, hey, just go be the best version of CJ Springer. You don't have to go be nobody else. And man, Coach Elliott really taught me that when I was able to spend some time up under him in 20 and 21. He just always just told me, man, just be you. You don't have to be nobody else. You play this position, you know the position. Just be you. You ain't got to worry about anything else. So that's the number one thing on my coaching goal, I guess you can say, is always be the best version of myself. And just always just be who I am, and don't get caught up into the external stuff or outside opinions and stuff like that.
You talked about building the brotherhood. What are some key things that you tell the guys to do to be able to build that brotherhood?
Spend time together outside the building. Because these guys spend so much time in this building, working out, watching film, and so, go outside the building, go bowling, go to the movies, go to somebody's apartment and play video games, and really get to know them. And then, thing that me and James Davis always done, that we always went to each other's hometown in the summer. I want to see how you was brought up, and then the same thing for him. He wanted to see how I was brought up, and so, anytime that you can spend more time with someone, the better you get to know that person. And so those are just some things that I try to encourage those guys to do. Really spend a lot of time with each other outside this building. And sometimes you don't have to do it as a group. It could just be, for instance, it could be Adam Randall and Gideon Davidson going to McAllister and having lunch and just sitting down talking. So it don't always have to be this big, extravagant thing that you have to do. But man, I think the more time that you can spend with each other outside the building, the stronger that brotherhood is. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. I had the opportunity to attend Will Shipley wedding this summer, and to see all his close friends that he built relationships with in college. That's what it's about. And to see him and Phil, it was literally what we preach about every day. Like, that's what it's about. Man, being in each other's weddings and building that long time, that lifetime relationship with each other. So that's what I want in my room. That's what I try to really preach every day, is that I want y'all to have a lifetime relationship. Like, I can pick up the phone right now and call James Davis. He'll pick up. I can pick up the phone right now and call Jacoby Ford. He's gonna pick up. But those are relationships that was built over time while we was here at Clemson. So that's the same thing that I try to have with my guys.
Coach, with that
coaching staff.
Yeah.
Boulware coming in and, similar Clemson legends like yourself coming to the coaching staff. But what have you guys talked about, and what have you told them about with that transition and taking another big step to Clemson?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing we talked about earlier. The biggest thing is that when you get on this side of it, that you have to just really share all your experiences with your guys, because obviously you can't get out there. You don't have any more eligibility, and so you can't get out there and do it for them. So the best thing you can do now is just give that wisdom and knowledge that you was able to gain while playing this game, and stuff that other coaches was able to give to you. You just pour that back into them, and hopefully that they see that. And so I had some time to spend with him on the recruiting trail, and we had some great conversation. Man, he's done a great job. I mean, he's a fiery guy. I mean, obviously y'all know that he's very intense, and he brings a tenacity to that group. And so, but I think it just goes back to what I just talked about, man. He just be you. You gotta be nobody else. Just be Ben Boulware, and I think he's done a great job with that so far.
Coach, when you see something, I don't know if you saw yesterday, like Brian Kelly was talking about, they have the real Death Valley, or the Death Valley. When you see something like that, how would you react to that as a player, and then now as a coach? What do you try to say based on that?
I will react to it, because I think it goes back to what we preach here. If you're living yourself from the outside in, then you're gonna react to every little thing that somebody says. And so, but when you're living your life from the inside out, there's no reaction. So if I was a player currently today, it wouldn't mean nothing to me, because at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything. And so, what can I do to make sure that I'm prepared for fall camp? And it goes back to control the controllable. And so I wouldn't get caught up into it as a player, and so I'm not going to get caught up into it as a coach, because it doesn't mean anything. Because at the end of the day, guys got to go out there and play, and the name on the stadium obviously is very meaningful to our university, but being Death Valley is not going to win the game. Guys that's on the field, that's out there playing, that's what wins games. And so we have an awesome home field. Hopefully, come game day, it'll be loud. And I know Tiger fans that's in South Carolina, I know they'll show up on that day.
You know what's possible for a freshman running back. You know it's possible to come in here and play.
Yeah,
what's realistic for Gideon? You've been around him a little bit. He comes in with a lot of attention.
Yep.
Is it realistic for him to be one of those small handful of guys, yourself included, that can be impactful right away?
Yeah, if he does the things that he needs to do, I mean, he'll have an opportunity to play. And that's the beauty about Gideon, man, is that he understands what he done in high school. That was high school, and he'll be the first to tell you I haven't done anything yet, because they haven't. It's the same thing with me. The biggest thing, you come in with all the hype, you come in with the accolades and all that stuff. But when you get to college, man, guys, the older guys anyway, they don't care nothing about it. They just want to know what we've been seeing is that you? All right, are you that guy? And so, man, he had a great spring, and I know he done had an awesome summer. And so if he's prepared and he's mentally, but physically, I mean, I don't know if y'all guys have seen him. I mean, physically, he looks awesome, and he can go play anything, but it's more than just being physically ready. You got to be mentally ready. And so hopefully this fall camp will be this first time he's going to go through a college fall camp. And so we'll see how this camp goes, but I'm excited for him. But, I mean, if he can help us, obviously we ain't just going to leave him back there in the chute and just say, hey, nah, let's not do it. But if he can help us, we definitely going to use it.
Game one's a big one. Is it realistic that he could be impactful in game one?
Well, I mean, game one is a big one. I mean, because it's the season opener. I think that's why it's a big one for us anyway. But after that, you got a ton of more games to play, right? And so, like I just said, if he's ready and he's mentally, yes, he'll get out there. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yes, game one, he's going to run out there. I don't know. I mean, I got to see how this fall camp go. I got to see where he's at, how much he can retain, and all that stuff. But I know he's going to do a great job of putting in the work and trying to get himself ready to go for game one, which all my guys should be doing right now at this moment, is getting themselves ready to go for game one, and really not even game one, really for fall camp, right? So, but we understand that game one to be here soon, but really getting yourself ready for fall camp.
Coach, what does Adam Randall bring to the running back room, and especially what does he bring to the passing game?
Come on, Trevor. You know how Adam, man, he brings a ton of experience. When I say that, because he's the older guy, he's the oldest man in the room, right? He's been in this program for 4 years, now 5 years, and so he understands this program inside out. And then for him, it was just all about just learning the position, right? And so, and then he just brings the confidence. I mean, I think that guy, he brings a calmness to him. He doesn't get overwhelmed with stuff. He doesn't, panic when stuff happens. So I think he brings that to our room, especially when you got some young guys, right? And so he's able to talk to those guys about not getting into a panic mode. And so that's been awesome, having that veteran leadership come out of him. And he done a great job with that, because that's not easy, going from one position to another position, because you don't really know how you're going to be walking. But man, my guys, they did a great job of welcoming him with open arms and really just teaching him and helping him. And then, as time went on, he kind of just, found his way, and then he just started speaking a little more. But that comes with just being a veteran. And so it's been great having him in the room, man. He's a great kid, and I know he has a bright future.
You had great hands when you got here as a freshman, and you're a big part of the passing game as well. So for him, that's a unique attribute for a running back.
Yeah, and then for him, that's going to be an advantage. I mean, for him, because he comes from that world, so he understands coverages and all that stuff. Like running back, you want to get to that point. I think probably the best person I can probably say probably done that was probably Marshall Faulk. I think just reading about him and watching videos, like he really had an understanding of the pass game and coverages and all that stuff, and so Adam, he has that, and so he's able to talk coverages with guys, talk that language and help the guys out, and so that's been a big plus having him in there, and so that's been awesome.
Coach, with the new season approaching, can you give us an example of one of your favorite coaching moments that you've had so far that brings a lot of excitement to this new season?
One of my favorite coaching moments that I've had this far that bring a lot of excitement to the season. I've had some few. I'll probably say that Keith Adams, the Wake Forest game, they ran a couple guys over. You get your juices flowing a little bit. So I watched that highlight a couple times. Watched Jay Haynes break the long one. I watched that a couple times. Jarvis Green against Texas. It worked out just like I told him it was going to work out. Watching him score his touchdown and being excited about him and seeing the confidence that springboard for him, that was awesome. Adam Randall, big kickoff return to set up the game-winning field goal in the ACC championship. That was a big moment. I know you wanted one, but I'm just kind of easy. His big toughness run, his physicality, that was awesome.
When you were a younger back, did you wish that you were one of those guys like Keith Adams that could run guys over if you had to?
Yeah, I wish I had that trait. But the good Lord, when He made me to be very speedy in agility and elusiveness, and so I'm very happy with the traits that He gave me. But if I could have had the Keith Adams, power and the James Davis power, that would have been awesome. And the Adam Randall versatility, where I can get out there and run every route tree in the book. That would have been awesome, which I could have done. We just didn't ask me to do it. But it's some traits that I would love to take from some of these guys that would add to my game. That would have helped me.
CJ, talking to Gideon's dad,
Yep.
He was saying that number-wise, he wouldn't have necessarily even known number 9. Travis Etienne's number. Did he have, from your perspective, you know he had an awareness of wearing that number and seeing that pressure that comes with that for a freshman wearing number 9? Those expectations are really like that.
I mean, I think that's how raw he is. That he really don't he just goes with the flow. You know what I mean? Obviously, he knows Travis Etienne, and he try to, obviously pays respect to that and significant. But other than that, outside of that, I don't think he really understand. He don't get caught. I would say he don't get caught up into all that stuff. You know what I mean? And so that kid, man, he just puts his head down and just goes to work. But you know, because he had never worn them out before, you know, and so for him to have it on, I'm pretty sure he understands the great pride that comes with that. But he understands that, you know, the number don't make the person makes the number.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, CJ.
Thank you.
Thank you.